Nation. It's your boy Dub Raider. With me, as always, my brother, my friend, the man, the myth, the legend, Chris from Protect the Shield podcast. Chris, thanks for being with us on another week of the Raider Nation's Weekly Wire. Unfortunately, like we were talking earlier, I'm a bit numb this week about what has transpired with our team. It's not looking good, brother. It's not looking good at all. 31-0. These are the coaches that we thought were going to do something, the GM that we thought was going to do something, obviously not change the world, but at least make a difference, show us that positive change. But I don't see it, man. How you doing?
I'm with you, man. And again, I'm one of those guys that, wasn't super optimistic going into the season. So like I'm probably taking it better than most Raider fans. Like a lot of Raider fans are ready to, jump off a cliff and they're super upset. And I just think I went through that phase probably a little bit earlier than most people did because I saw the writing on the wall. So now that it's happening, I'm just looking at it like we're just, laying in the bed that we made. So,
right.
Which sucks because we're such passionate fans, we love our team. And, sometimes when you're just outmatched, you can live with that. But when you see the guys not giving effort and just not being prepared and stuff like that, that's when it really hurts as a fan to see that. Cause they're just like, what are we doing?
Cause to be totally honest, my expectations, like, we mentioned in the past, weren't that high for the team.
Right.
I was expecting at most 100% more wins than last year, meaning 8 wins.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to be all consecutively. They were going to be sporadic, a win here and there.
Right.
Let's say 1 win, 2 losses, maybe another 2 wins, 3 losses, and so on and so forth. Right? Kind of like a balance. But we're doing 1 win, 4 losses, 1 win, and then a devastating loss. And mind you, out of our 5 losses now, 3 of them have been embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's something's wrong. Something's wrong. And to have AP come out and start talking shit too, well deserved, obviously, well deserved, but it's kind of sad that we're at this point. But nevertheless, we are still Raider fans. We still ride for our team. We do what we got to do, and that's why we're here. So let's talk about this game. Let's diagnose it. Show us what you saw that maybe us conventional fans didn't see. What are the things, because there was one positive, and I want to point that out right now, that I saw immediately after the game. No interceptions.
Yeah.
So that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Gino didn't get picked, so that's a plus. But other than that, talk to us, brother. What were the obviously, because there were more negatives, what did you see that our team did wrong, or our coaching, or whoever you think?
No, I mean, it was just, again, the preparation from our coaches. I mean, from a schematic standpoint, we were just outmatched. Everything that we did, KC already was prepared for. They knew what we were doing. So that just shows that we were way too predictable. Like our defense, everything that we did, Mahomes knew where to go. Like it was just it was a well-oiled machine. And when stuff like that happens, it's a lot of times that, KC was just super prepared. But one of the reasons they're super prepared is we're so predictable. Going into the game, Mahomes knew when to audible out of stuff and knew when we were in certain looks and stuff like that, where to go. So that's why he looked comfortable the whole game, And when you see that on the field, it's, that's a coaching thing, man. It was just like, the coaches are supposed to almost be playing chess behind the scenes, and trying to, outwit each other and stuff like that. But I mean, we were just out coached so badly. And then our guys, the effort, you just didn't see the effort. You didn't see the passion. We look like a team that's already starting to, to check out. And that's all there is to it. And once, and we don't have the type of team that can come back. We're not set up like that. So the fact that we couldn't establish a run early, I think within the first 15 scripted plays, we only ran the ball one time. So,
And
we're
see
not going to be able to compete like that against anyone.
that's what I don't understand is, obviously our passing threats are gone. They're hurt.
Yeah.
So did they not run the ball because they thought the opposing team was going to think, oh, they're going to run the ball because that's all they got? Kind of like reverse psychology type situation going on.
Yeah, you would think, but at the end of the day, it's like sometimes you can't try to outsmart. I mean, we always try to do stupid stuff like that. Sometimes you just got to do what's your best, like,
right.
That's our best thing, like the Ravens when they had Derek, with Derrick Henry, like they don't try to really outsmart you. They're like, hey, we got Derrick Henry. Yeah, you may know we're going to run it. Now stop it.
Right. Right. That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
yeah,
do it until it doesn't work.
Until it doesn't work. Exactly.
Not just avoid it completely.
Right.
And that's something that just, I don't understand football the way you do, the way the War Room does, but I understand.
But none of us understand that. So you're right with us. None of us understand that at all.
And then again, Chip Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he a run first style of coaching when he was in college?
I mean, he likes to run. I mean, because he's all about tempo, running, and kind of getting the defense off balance and stuff like that. But yeah, he generally likes to run the ball.
So then again, here comes my conspiracy theory side of this. Is there a problem between the head coach and the offensive line coach? Is like, let's say Chip, hypothetically speaking, Chip says, let's run. But Pete's like, no. They're going to think we're going to run. So we're not going to run. We're going to throw and we're going to psych them out. But we're not doing anything.
Nothing's working.
I don't understand at this point. Like I'm telling you, man, I was sitting there numb. Even Kansas City Chief fans were coming up to me like, hey man, it's all right, man. You guys have a chance. I'm like, nah, we're done. And it was the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm not giving up on the team, still ride or die with the Raiders and the Raider Nation. But I want to understand. I want to try and understand, why it is that coaches do what they do, and make the Raider Nation also understand that, there is a process and there's reasoning behind what they do. But when you have showings like this, there is no like logical process. There is no, okay, I see what they're showing me. Yeah, it might not work for now, but slowly but surely it's going to progress to something positive. And I don't see it, brother.
No, you're right. I mean, because usually there's some, and that's why I say there's like some light at the end of the tunnel. There was this meme that my buddy sent me, and I'll send it to you. I think it's funny. It shows two guys on a bus, and one is a Raiders fan, and one is a Cleveland Browns fan. And the Raiders fan is on one side, and it has our record, which is 2-5, and then it has 2-5 for the Browns fan too, but the Raiders fan, when they're looking out the window, they just see nothing but gloom and dark. But then the Browns fan, they're seeing like sunlight, trees, and what it's saying is like Browns fans know they're not good, but they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They know they have a young team. They got building blocks. They got something. They're building their foundation. They got some dogs. They probably drafted the best running back in the draft. Junkins, he's by far looking like the best running back. They got some good young, they got good young guys, on defense, the linebacker, Mason Graham. So they got guys that they can be excited about.
Right.
They're still trying to figure out their quarterback situation, but they made a trade in the draft. They did stuff that I wanted to do in the draft. Like they made a trade and they picked up another first-round pick for next year. So they got 2 first-round picks next year. So it's like they have hope. And just us as Raider fans, we're just looking like, I don't even know where to start with our team, because it's like, you don't always want to fire a coach after 1 year, but but Pete Carroll's so old. It's like, he's not going to be hanging around for a rebuild because he's old. He's not going to be around for a true rebuild. So it's like, do we just cut our losses and try to figure out, a long-term plan now? And then it's like, you know, you got Max Crosby in his prime, but it's like we're so far from really competing. Are we wasting him? Are we wasting his prime?
Talent, yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, having a guy like that on the team, because I truly don't think we're going to win any more games this year. On a 2-win team, having a Max Crosby, what's the point? What's the point? You know? I mean, I know it makes us feel good and he's a fan favorite, but at some point, we got to just think about the future, man. And I love Max, but, you know, this is we're in a bad spot, man.
We are.
We're almost at rock bottom.
You know, and the thing is, we're not strangers to this.
Right.
You know,
but it feels different though. I think this feels different than even like the Josh McDaniel years or even last year with AP. Like this is bad, man. This is worse than, you know, any Del Rio or any Rich Bisaccia. Like this is bad.
Well, see, the thing I think for me that seems worse than before is because there was such a high expectation, not from the team.
Yeah.
You know, we knew what we had.
Yeah.
We knew what we drafted. So we knew that it wasn't going to be a 180. You know, it was going to be a progression.
Yeah.
The coaching, the knowledge, the experience.
Yeah.
You know, it was impressive. You know, on paper, it was definitely impressive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know, we're thinking, okay, now we have the parents coming in and doing the adult work, you know, and not just a bunch of kids or a bunch of attempts or, you know, they're here to take care of business, you know, but yet we don't see it. And now, you know, I really don't want to be an ageist, but, you know, I am fearful that if we do stick with Pete Carroll, you know, how long are we going to keep him? And then let's say if there is some positive progression, you know, and then he leaves, then are we going to have to start all over again with a new coach? Is there going to be like somebody that's going to take his place? You know, it's just so many questions and not enough answers. And it's causing a lot of stress, causing a lot of turmoil within the Raider Nation. I've seen some social media spots talking about bring back Chucky, bring back Derek Carr, just all this kind of crazy stuff, right? And I'm thinking like, man,
that's how desperate we are, brother. That's how desperate we are.
And it's like, man, you know, and I don't know how to spin it. I don't know how to be positive. As much as I want to be, I don't feel it inside.
Yeah.
You know, like I told you, when we beat the Titans, I was like, we beat our little brother. You know, it was expected, but you know, I wasn't holding my breath that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we get rocked this past weekend, and I knew that was going to happen. I knew we were going to win, but to not even compete, you know, and again, compete. This was the season of compete.
Yeah, that's all we heard, man.
Where the hell is it? You know, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm hopeful that we get at least 2, maybe 3 more wins, you know, and then just start seeing what we can do with the team that we have. Hopefully, you know, the big brains and the big pockets in the front office, you know, make a good decision, because to this point, for the past 20 some odd years, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And you know, it's getting very frustrating as a Raider fan, you know, and just as a football fan in general, because it's hard seeing our team get just destroyed and then watching other teams excel that have been at our tier in years past.
Yeah.
Seeing them progress. And it's kind of like, why can't we do that?
Yeah, no, you're so right, man. And then like again, like and then you see teams that are bad like us, but then you can at least see a future for them. Like the Giants were, you know, they've been terrible lately, but now, you know, they had a good draft. They got their future quarterback, they got their future running back, they got a nice young defense that they can build on. The Giants are going to be one of the better teams in the next 2 years. And it's like, how come we can't do that? But it's like we make stupid decisions. We do stuff like, you know, we have a young, you know, center that is, you know, he's supposed to be ascending. And instead of like letting him, you know, continue to develop at his natural position,
Let's
we
move
put him
him.
in a whole nother position. Not even the position that he played in his first year. We put him in the so it's like little stuff like that, and it's just hard to, and and we were talking about it on the show yesterday, and then like for whatever's going on, I don't know, a lot of speculation, but so JPJ gets benched, and instead of like, putting in like a rookie, like I don't know if our rookie, what's his name, Carlos Rogers, I don't know if he was active or not, but like instead of putting someone like him in so he can at least get some reps and you can at least see what we have in a young rookie, we're putting in Alex Kappa, who was statistically the worst offensive lineman last year, statistically the worst. And he's old. So it's like, why are we even putting him in? Put the young, like, we already know we're going to lose, whatever. Put the young pup in and see if he has anything. See what we got in these guys, man.
Right.
This makes no sense.
Basically at this point, and even let's say not at this point of the season, but at this point in the game when we're so far out of reach from even trying to compete, bring in the youngsters. Give them that experience. That way there's no pressure on them to try and win. It's just they start getting that experience. The coaches start seeing what they have with these players, and then we can make better calls in play positioning for the following games.
Right.
But and again, why don't they? Are they like, is this again conspiracy theories all over the place? I just don't know what to believe anymore.
It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
But the only thing that I do know is that at least for this week, we will not lose.
Hey, you never know. The Raiders will find a way. We'll get caught with like tampering and lose a draft pick or something. It'll be announced. It'll be announced on Sunday. It'll be announced on Sunday that Chip Kelly was tampering with someone else's player, and you guys lose a 3rd-round draft pick.
He was involved with the NBA stuff, and
yeah. He was involved in the sports betting. He's the reason why God. Gino's thrown 10 interceptions for sports betting. That's what.
And that's another thing. Speaking of Gino, it's I was watching a lot of his highlights from seasons past with Seattle. He was mobile. He can extend the play.
Yeah.
What? Explain to us, why doesn't he do that? Is it just the play calling? Do you think he's being told stay in the pocket? What's going on there?
Well, the thing is, I think it's because not even like he had a good line in Seattle, but it's like It's like with us, again, the offensive coordinator is responsible of putting your players in the best position to win. Look, if your offensive line is not playing the best, you got to figure out a ways to help them out, whether you do screens or, different things to kind of use the defense's, aggressiveness against him. We don't do none of that. We don't do that many misdirection stuff and, do anything to make sure that the defense has to be disciplined and stuff like that. But to answer your question, it's like when you watch him, he just running for his life. It's not even like he can sit back and if no one's open and he can kind of run for a first down. It's like once he gets at the top of his drop, the guy's already on him, so he's running for his life. It's not even like he can, be mobile and use his athletic ability because they're already on his ass.
Excuse me. And then I also noticed that in the NFL, a lot of quarterbacks are releasing the ball in under 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I counted Gino's at the time he held the ball. It was over 5 seconds. The majority of the time. Is that due to bad protection, bad coaching, bad receiving? What can you attest to that?
Well, a lot of times, it's play design. Like if you think back at like Tom Brady when he was kind of like at his best, or even Peyton Manning, they got the ball in their hand quickly. That's why, you don't see those guys, even though they're not mobile, they didn't get sacked a whole lot, because for one, they understood what the defense is trying to do to them. and them and the offensive coordinator, they're cohesive. So therefore, as soon as they hike the ball, Brady and a lot of the good quarterbacks, they know where they want to get the ball, and they get it out of their hands quick. For some reason, we're not doing stuff like that. We're doing stuff where we're trying to go downfield. For one, we don't have the receivers to even go downfield, and then two, we don't have the linemen that can protect that well.
And the defense doesn't bite.
And they don't bite because they don't respect. For one, we don't even do that much play action, so They don't even have to they have nothing to even bite on because they're like, we know you're not going to run, so it's tough, man. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, because the one that really like just kind of brought it forward for me was watching Aaron Rodgers play.
Yeah,
with the Steelers, 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds.
Yeah, is
I think the longest was like 3 seconds. I was
perfect example. Because it's like he snaps the ball and he already knows what he wants to do.
Right.
Hey, if this and again, a lot of that is it's on the quarterback understanding what the defense like. We have to be able to read. But also, it's also the play caller, man. It's like you watch Mahomes and Andy Reid, the way they played against us. Mahomes already knows if he sees this, I'm going here. If I see that, I'm going there. Like they already know. So they're just picking us apart. They're very surgical. We're not that. We're not what we are.
And then I try to give Gino the benefit of the doubt, but my assumption is that he's playing with some sort of fear or something there because he's starting to remind me of Derek Carr after his
injury
leg break. Yeah. He's giving me that vibe. Where he's kind of scared and doesn't know what to do, and then that's why he got all those interceptions. But oh man, in your words, Chris, what can we do to salvage our season? Not necessarily say get a winning season, but salvage it, make it at least respectable.
It's tough, man, because I think at this point, man, you got to figure out who still wants to be on this team. I mean, again, we're not playing for the playoffs at this point.
No, not at all.
But let's find out who has it, man. Who has some dog in them? Who's not going to give up? Who's not going to check out? Honestly, let's see what some of these rookies can do because maybe we might have some diamonds in the rough we just don't know about. And then we can have something to be excited about, something to build on, because again, like when you look at some of these other teams, they know that, hey, I got some young early 20s, guys in their early 20s that's going to, be able to develop in the next couple of years. It's like, we got Brock, we have, hopefully Genty. And, besides that, what other like young guys can we really depend on that's, like, to me, I thought JPJ was going to be that. And I know a lot of people are turning their back on JPJ, but he's out of position. So I'm not even, this season is a wash for me with him. Like, I still got hope that he can be one of the best centers, in the league in a couple years. So I'm not giving up on him as a center. Whatever Chip Kelly and Brendan Carroll wants to do, playing around with them, I'm totally against that. I think he could still be a good center in this league to come.
Yeah, I definitely believe so. I believe so. And I hope they see that. I hope, again, hope.
Yeah.
But so let me ask you this last question. Let's say, for example, if the Gino experiment is basically done after the Jags, who would you pick and why? Pickett or AOC to start?
Oh, man.
Mind you,
you're asking me if I want to drown or if I want to burn in the fire. Like, I don't know which one. Sheesh. It's because, like, me personally, I'd probably say, let me see what Pickett can do. Because I've seen enough of AOC, to be quite honest. I know Pickett was at other teams, and I haven't had a chance to see him too much. But I think I've seen enough sample size of AOC. So
I love Pickett's first play, though.
Oh, my God. Yeah, of course. It's so, it's such a Raider thing, man. Such a Raider thing. But yeah, out of the two, I'd probably say Pickett, but it doesn't matter. It's like, am I going to drown or die in a fire? Never.
Yeah. It's sad to think that way already.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's not leave on a bad note, Chris. Let's bring some positivity in
Let's
here.
do it. Let's do it.
What did you see, or what do you see that are positive outcomes for our team? Like, what did you see this past week? What do you see that might be a positive in the upcoming weeks? Like, maybe against the Jags and so on. Anything?
Man,
Anything at all?
I'm really trying. Like I'm going each position group, and I just finished offense. I have nothing there. Well, okay. We're getting healthy, so I think Brock
Yes.
will likely be back. Jacoby will likely be back. So
I hope so.
yeah, so we got that. Yeah, there we go. We're getting some guys back. There we go.
How about what happened with our O lineman? What's his name?
Who?
The one's injured reserve?
Who? Colton Miller?
Yeah, Colton Miller.
Yeah. I don't see him coming back anytime soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd have to look back at that. I forgot actually what he did, but yeah, I don't think that's. Yeah, I think he'll be out for, honestly. The way we're playing, you might as well just get fully healthy. Huh? Yeah, you might as well get fully healthy, man.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Chris, Raider Nation. I'm sorry we couldn't have a more positive show, but remember, we will not lose this weekend. There will be no L in the L column.
No L.
Let me put it that way. No L in the L column for the Raiders this weekend.
Right.
So that's definitely a positive. Chris, let the Raider Nation know where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, man. Chris will Protect the Show podcast. You can find me at all social media platforms, specifically on YouTube. So make sure you guys, definitely check me out there. I do the War Room with my brother Severe and 805. So right now we're just trying to figure out, just what content we're going to continue to do. Because I'm not sure, Dub, if you heard, but so YouTube made a change. So we are not able to do our live film sessions, our film breakdowns no more.
Really?
Yeah, because now if we're streaming live and we're like, breaking down the film, they cut the stream. They suspend the stream so people can't see it. It's something that they just started. So yeah, and that was one thing that we really enjoyed, man, because it was something that, we weren't worried about, like, because one thing they were like, okay, we're not going to monetize it, and we're like, that's fine. We're not worried about monetizing. We just want to give the content out to the fans, but they actually like suspend the stream, so it'll like freeze and people can't see it. So
shit,
it sucks, man.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, we want to, all the stuff that we say, a lot of our takes, again, it comes from not just our opinions, it's stuff that we're seeing on the field, and we like to show everybody, because a lot of times people listen to a lot of these talking heads, these national talking heads that put out a lot of narratives and stuff like that. But we like to show what's on the film and show, hey, this is what's really going on. So regardless of what they tell you, they're telling you Tyree Wilson is, he's having a bounce back season. Well, yeah, he had a play here and there, but this is really what's going on in all the other plays. So stuff like that, man. And so that sucks.
Well, if anybody can figure it out, if anybody can figure it out, it's going to be you guys. YouTube isn't the only social media outlet that you guys can use. Obviously, it's the best for this, but you guys could go to other outlets. There's Instagram, there's TikTok, even Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely it is detrimental to the Raider Nation for this to happen to you guys, because you guys put so much great knowledge out there, that allows more Raider fans to understand why you guys think and speak the way you do.
Yeah.
But you guys are still doing the shows, right?
Yeah. Yep. So we're still doing the shows, and we'll, continue breaking stuff down. It's just, we won't be able to have the actual breakdown of the film. We're going to try to figure out some other like creative ways of potentially doing it. Yeah, so we're kind of, we're in the lab right now, kind of strategizing that way. But, that was one thing that we kind of felt set us apart from just, other guys are just sitting in front of a mic, just rambling their opinions. We try to bring something, a little bit more concrete to show you guys. But we'll figure it out. At the end of the day, there are different platforms. We don't have to just worry about YouTube, but We just want to be able to put out good content for the Raider Nation and just let everybody see a different, vantage point.
Definitely. And anything else you got planned outside of outside?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it, man. Just
waiting on your next vacay, right?
Hey, man, I got it in a couple weeks, man. So I can't wait. A couple weeks and going to Aruba, baby.
Yes, sir. So Raider Nation, don't forget, even though they're having a little issue, War Room is still up. Follow them. Chris Protect the Shield, Severe Raider, 805 Raider. What is it? Sundays and Wednesdays, right?
Yep, Sundays and Wednesdays. Yep.
Sundays and Wednesdays. Check them out on YouTube. Follow, like, subscribe. As for me, Raider Nation, of course, here every week with my brother Chris, the Raider Nation's Weekly Wire. And then we also do the Raider Nation Roll Call. I don't know what's coming up next yet. Right now, I'm kind of busy with all the events that we're hosting.
You're rocking, brother. You're rocking, man.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Sunday, we're having the Violator V57 cigar relaunch in the city of Rialto, Casa Lobo Cigar Lounge. If you guys are in Southern California, come join us. Doors open around 2, 3 o'clock. We're going to be hanging out, smoking steaks, having drinks, watching the games that are on, and just, mixing it up with the Raider Nation. So if you guys want to come through, it's a free event. Obviously, you got to buy your sticks and your drinks. But other than that, come through. The following Sunday, we're doing a watch party at Sharky's in Hermosa Beach. That's over here again in Southern California. Thanks to Chris. I actually just went today, did a couple of promo recordings up there.
Nice.
And, we're going to be promoting a lot more. Come through. A Raider alumni, Michael Alexander, is going to be there. We're going to have Raider merch, music, drink specials, food specials,
nice.
And of course, the games. So Raider Nation, come through. We want to black it out. Doing it in collaboration with Raiders Against the World. Even though we're not a good team, but the Raider Nation is still strong no matter what. And that's what we're trying to show you guys, that, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. Yes. Or we die, I should say. So,
yes.
So again, Raider Nation, thanks for joining us. Unfortunately, it was a somber show, but at the end of the day, we're still together. Let's stay strong. Let's stay positive. We're not losing this week. Remember that everything we do is for the nation, by the nation. Raider!